What up, people? Mr. Noland back. So today we are going to be doing an in-class video. Sorry, we're going to do a video over an in-class test review for December 12th. Sorry, I'm not going to be here today, guys. I'm actually going to be at the doctor's with my wife. Finally get to see our little baby girl. It's a sonogram, so yay. Very exciting. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started because this is 20 questions long. Number 1, each rectangle below is divided into sections of equal size. What is the percentage of the shaded for each rectangle? So let's start with A. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shaded, and there's 8 total rectangles. So we have to convert this fraction to a percent. Well, can 8 go into 100 evenly? No, it cannot. So we're going to have to do top in, bottom out. Can 8 go into 7? No, it cannot. So we're going to add a decimal, add a 0. 8 can go into 70 8 times, which would give you 64. Can 8 go into 6? No, it cannot, but since I have a remainder, add your 0. 8 can go into 60 7 times, which leaves you 4. Again, since you have a remainder, add a 0. And 8 can go into 40 5 times. So now you just went from fraction to decimal, but again, it's not asking for a decimal, it's asking for a percentage. So how do you take a decimal and turn it into a percent? You take your decimal and move it 2 places to the right. So that becomes 87.5%. There is your answer on that one. Number 1B, how many are shaded? Well, there's 5 shaded. I'm going to go ahead and go with pink here. So there's 5 shaded, and there's 8 total rectangles. Again, 8 cannot go into 100 evenly, so I cannot make an equivalent fraction. Instead, I'm going to have to do top in, bottom out. So let's see here. Can 8 go into 5? No, it cannot, so add your decimal up top, add a 0. How many times can 8 go into 50? Well, let's see here. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. Goes in there 6 times. You have a remainder of 2. Since you have a remainder, add your 0. 8 can go into 20 2 times. Again, you have a remainder of 4. Add your 0. 8 can go into 40 5 times. So just like on 1A, you went from fraction to decimal. Now you have to take your decimal and convert it to a percent by moving your decimal 2 places to the right. So you get 62.5%. There you go. You just did 3 conversions. The first conversion was getting your fraction. The second conversion was taking your fraction, moving it to a decimal. And the third conversion was going from your decimal all the way to your percent. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at number 2. Sean recorded the shirt color of every person in the class. The results are shown to the right. What is the percentage of students wearing black shirts? Well, how many students wore black shirts? Well, 7 students wore black shirts. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do black shirts over total shirts. So again, 7 people wore a black shirt. How many students wore a shirt? 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. So now you have a fraction. But this one wants you to convert to a percentage. Well, look at this. Can't you make an equivalent fraction? I think you can. Can 20 go into 100 evenly? Yes, it can. Now, why do I want my new denominator to be 100? Because percentages are always out of 100. Well, to get from 20 to 100, what did you multiply by? Good, you multiplied by 5. So 7 times 5 would be 35. So 35 over 100 as a percent is just 35%. There's your answer. Look at this. Nice and easy. This should be one of the easiest tests you take all year. Number 3, a bag of 100 marbles has 37 green marbles. What is the fraction of green marbles as a percent? So we have green marbles over total. How many green marbles do you have? Well, you got 37 of them. How many total marbles are in the bag? Well, there's 100. There's your fraction. Now it says to take your fraction and write it as a percent. Well, look at this. My fraction is over 100. 37 over 100 is the same as 37%. You're done. Nice and easy. Alright, number 4. Gracie surveyed all the students in her 6th grade class to find her classmates' favorite type of pet. I voted for dog. The table shows the results of her survey. Write the percentage of students whose favorite pet is a dog. So you have dog over total surveyed. How many people like dogs? 3 of them did. How many total people were surveyed? Well, 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. So there's your fraction. We have to convert this to percents. Once again, percents are out of 100. Can 10 go into 100 evenly? Yes, it can. So I'm going to make an equivalent fraction. To get from 10 to 100, what's your scale factor? Well, good. It's times 10. So what is 3 times 10? Well, that's 30. So 30 over 100 is equivalent to 30%. There you go. Nice and easy. Number 5. The figure below is divided into 4 equal sections. What is the percent of the shaded region? Well, how many are shaded? 1. How many total rectangles? 4. So I'm going to do top and bottom out on this one. But I know some of y'all are saying, well, 4 can go into 100 evenly. I can make an equivalent fraction. You can do that. There's more than one way to solve a problem. I just feel like doing top and bottom out as a refresher. So can 4 go into 1? No, it cannot. So add your decimal. 4 can go into 10 2 times. 4 can go into 20 5 times. So I just went from fraction to decimal. Now how do you go from decimal to a percent? You move the decimal 2 places to the right. So the answer should be 25% shaded in. Well, that was nice and quick. You just finished the front side. Let's look at the back. Let's see. Jesus thinks that 0.0059 is 59%. George says that it is 0.59%. Who is correct and why? Well, guys, how do you convert a decimal to a percent? Once again, you take your decimal and move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2. So it should be 0.59%. If you want to put the 0 in front, you may do so. Well, Jesus is wrong. He says it's just 59%. George says that it is 0.59. That's what we got here. So George is right. Knowing that Jesus is wrong, you can eliminate A and C. Now let's look at our wording here. I haven't really gone over this. But guys, if you want to go from a decimal to a percent, you take your decimal and you multiply by 100. Okay, so the answer here would be George is correct because you multiply the decimal by 100. Alright, number 10. The United States uses 24% of the world's supply of energy. What fraction of the world's energy is this? And you must simplify your answer. Well, it says 24%. How do you write 24% as a fraction? You go with the number given, and percents are always out of 100. Well, these are both even numbers, so they can both be simplified by 2. Half of 24 is 12. Half of $1 is 50 cents. Well, would you look at that? They're still even numbers, aren't they? Divide by 2 again. Half of 12 is 6. Half of 50 cents is a quarter. That cannot be simplified any lower. That's your answer. Alright, number 11. Write the percent of the figure that is shaded. So let's see here. We have 1 shaded, 2 shaded, 3 shaded, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 triangles. But again, it's asking for a percent. Once again, percents are out of 100. Can I make an equivalent fraction here? Yes, I can. 10 can go into 100 10 times. So 3 times 10 would be 30. 30 over 100 is the same as 30%. There is your answer. Nice and easy. Alright. Express each percent as a decimal. Again, start by covering up your percent sign. Do you see a decimal anywhere there? No, because it's a whole number. So what you do is you put the decimal on the back. And now to go from a percent to a decimal, you move the decimal 2 places to the left. The other way you can do it, guys, if you want to go from a percent to a decimal, you can take it and divide by 100. Okay? So I'm just going to do it the easy way. I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So this answer is just 0.22. Look at number 13. Cover up your percent sign. The number given here is 50. Put the decimal at the back. Move the decimal 2 places to the left. So you can put 0.5 or 0.50. It's the same exact answer. Either one of those is good. Number 14. Again, cover up your percent sign. There's still no decimal there, so put it at the back. Now move your decimal 2 places to the left. There you go. You just converted percents to decimals. Excuse me. All right. 15, 16, 17. Express each decimal as a percent. Ooh, so we got to convert a decimal to a percent. How are we going to do that? Oh, I know what we can do. We can take our decimal and move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2. You'll see this empty space here? Add a 0. What number do you see now? I see a 20, because that is 20%. Here we go. Move my decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2. What number do you see now? I just see 3. That is 3%. Once again, move your decimal to the right 2 times. 1, 2. What do you see? I see the number 7, and that is 7%. Well, look how easy that was. You just went from decimal to percent. Last 3. Express each percent as a fraction in simplest form. Start with the number given. In this case, it is 16. Percents are out of 100. So you just now went from percent to fraction. Now we need to simplify. Some of you are going to say they're even numbers, so they're divisible by 2, which is true. But the other number that can go into both of these, 4. 4 can go into 16 4 times. 4 can go into 100 25 times. That's its simplest form right there. You will have to do this on the test. Number 19, what number is given? 4. Percents are out of 100. Simplify. Again, you're going to say they're even numbers, so they're divisible by 2. You can do that. You can also say they are divisible by 4. 4 can go into 4 1 time. 4 can go into 100 25 times. Last one. Number given here is 35. Percents are out of 100. Now you see how it ends in a 5 and a 0? That means they are both divisible by 5. 35 divided by 5 is 7. 100 divided by 5 would give you 20. Now look at this in-class review. This really wasn't that hard. If you can master this in-class review on your own, you should ace this test. No doubt, this is one of the easiest tests. It's Unit 1 all over again. The only thing that we added on this unit was the percents. Alright guys, I hope this video helps. I highly recommend watching my other video that I made and this one. It can only help you guys. It can't hurt you to take 30 minutes out of your day and watch the videos. I mean, it really can't hurt you. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye.